shift number 5, from insights as a function to an insights operating system.
Yeah.
And establishing insights as a function is critical to gathering intelligence on the consumer, but it's not enough. Interesting statement in and of itself. Healthcare organizations need to create a culture of consumer obsession where everyone in the organization keeps the consumer front and center at all times. Organizations can build this by creating an insights operating system. So tell us what an insights operating system is and how we get there.
Yeah, so my colleague, Christine Brand-Jones, who leads our insight practice, gave me this analogy, so I'm not going to take credit for it. But she said, an insights operating system is when you have the quarterback and the receiver working seamlessly together in a passing game, right? So what's short of that is, you had said, it's not enough just to have insights and intelligence. It's not enough to have a great quarterback. Someone's got to catch the ball, right? So the organization needs to be able to also to generate insight and useful information about how to meet consumer needs when they make business decisions. And they need an organization that knows how to use the information and integrate it into business decision making. One large payer that we spent a lot of time with probably has a 25-person staff just in market research, not marketing, just in market research. And this is several years ago, so it might be a different number by now, generating all kinds of reports, doing all kinds of research. But yet when we interviewed their internal customers, they said, they're always issuing these reports. I don't know how to find them, what they mean, and even what it means for me. So the insights operating system is around the seamless integration. I would venture a guess, and again, I spend most of my time in healthcare, but inside some of the large technology companies that are so good at being consumer-centric now, Amazon, for example, I don't know, do they have a formal market research department? Maybe, or is it just that, does Nordstrom? Probably, maybe, right? Maybe somewhere in corporate, but it's really everyone's job to understand kind of consumer needs and how to meet them. So that's the principle that we talk about. So the question is, how do you do that? How do you take that philosophical construct and how do you make it happen inside a company? So we've seen a few things. One is we've seen, Aetna, Dave Edelman talks about creating an account management structure where he took his market research team that was organized by functional expertise, statistics versus survey design versus that type of thing, and reorganize it around business units. So each business unit has a partner from that team that's assigned to get to know the business, understand the needs, and bring back information in the context that's useful to that business unit. So that's kind of point one, reorganize around an account management structure on internal customers. Number two, Eli Lilly and Company made the decision, rather than hiring deep experts in the methods of market research, they're going to make that role in insights a rotational program and have seasoned executives from not only from marketing, but from sales and other leadership functions rotate through what's a traditional market research function, spend a year and a half there, because A, they bring business insight and perspective into the role, and two, when they leave it and go back out to their other roles, they also have an understanding of how to think about it. So again, trying to create that seamless flow of information beyond just doing additional studies are a couple of the ways we've come across how organizations are starting to think a little bit differently and create that insights operating system.
So really, it's, by the way, that last example is really fascinating to me, and I'm gonna think about that for a while. But we get caught up a lot of times in this conversation of who owns it and who runs it, and I always say, because you're talking about a cultural change that has to permeate almost every part of the organization, it needs to come from the CEO, and they need to own it. But with that being said, you can't have IT over here doing their thing and marketing over here doing their thing and strategy doing their thing and operations doing their thing. I mean, those four need to be so knitted so closely together that it almost operates as one person's brain. They know what each other's doing, and they're integrating data collection methods, they're integrating insights, and they're delivering them back. But they're also educating people on how to use it, and they're empowering people to create new solutions around it. What you're saying is, like, this is the final exam. This is the capstone for an organization becoming a consumer organization, and it's where all parts of the organization are sort of intertwined, and it just continues to build upon itself until it creates these insights for the organization.
That's well said.
No question there.